Captain Marcus Chen stared at the holographic contract floating before him, his coffee growing cold in the recycled air of station Kepler 442. The job posting had been simple enough. Experienced pilot needed for diplomatic transport. Hazard pay included. Discretion required. What it hadn't mentioned was the fine print buried in subsection 47C of Zytherian marriage law. "You're telling me," Marcus said slowly, "that by accepting this position I'm automatically married to Princess Sharavi?" The Zytherian ambassador, a crystalline being whose facets shifted between purple and blue, rippled with what might have been amusement. "Not quite, Captain. You become her bonded guardian. In human terms, you might call it a spouse. It's a security measure. Our princess requires protection, and Zytherian law dictates that only a life-bonded partner may pilot the royal vessel." Marcus ran a hand through his hair. 3 months ago, he'd been hauling cargo between Mars and the Belt. Now he was apparently getting married to an alien princess he'd never met. The pay was astronomical, though, enough to buy his own ship and retire by 40. "When do I meet her?" he asked. "Now," a melodic voice answered from behind him. Marcus turned. Princess Sharavi stood in the doorway, and she was not what he expected. Unlike the ambassador's crystalline form, she appeared almost human, if humans glowed faintly blue and had eyes like liquid silver. She wore practical flight gear rather than royal robes, and a plasma pistol hung at her hip. "You're wondering why I need a human pilot," she said, stepping closer. Her accent was slight, musical. "The answer is simple. Humans are unpredictable. My enemies, and I have many, can calculate every move a Zytherian might make, but you'll do things that make no logical sense and somehow survive." "That's not exactly a compliment," Marcus muttered. "It's the highest compliment I can give." She extended a hand, and he noticed her fingers had an extra joint. "Do we have an agreement, Captain Chen?" Marcus thought of his cramped quarters on the cargo hauler, the endless runs between stations, the certainty that he'd die broke and forgotten in some asteroid belt. He thought of the adventure he'd dreamed of as a kid reading old Earth sci-fi novels. He shook her hand. Her skin was warm, almost feverish. "I guess we do, Your Highness. Sharavi. If we're married, you should use my name." The bonding ceremony was mercifully brief, a touch of foreheads while the ambassador recited something in a language that hurt Marcus's ears. Then they were aboard the Celestial Dream, a sleek vessel that made every ship Marcus had ever flown look like a garbage scow. "She responds to neural commands," Sharavi explained as they settled into the cockpit. "But she needs a human's intuition to truly fly. My people built her, but we lack imagination." Marcus placed his hands on the control interface, and the ship came alive beneath his touch. He could feel her, every system and thruster, as if the vessel were an extension of his own body. It was intoxicating. "Where are we headed?" he asked. "The contested zone. I'm negotiating a peace treaty between the Kryn Collective and the Vorthal Empire. They've been at war for 3 centuries. And people want you dead for this? Many people. Warmongers on both sides, pirates who profit from the chaos. My own cousin who wants the throne." She smiled, a surprisingly human expression. "This is why I need you, Marcus Chen. Because when they come, and they will come, you'll do something completely insane and save both our lives." She wasn't wrong. The ambush came 2 days into their journey as they navigated the debris fields of the shattered belt. 6 ships materialized from nowhere, weapons hot. Sharavi's fingers flew over tactical displays while Marcus's mind raced. A Zytherian pilot would have calculated the optimal escape vector, found the safest route. Marcus did the opposite. He dove straight into the densest part of the debris field, threading the Celestial Dream through gaps that shouldn't have existed, pulling maneuvers that violated every safety protocol ever written. "What are you doing?" Sharavi shouted as alarm screamed. "Something stupid," Marcus yelled back. He killed the engines entirely, letting momentum carry them into a tumbling asteroid, then fired all thrusters at once in a random pattern. The ship spun like a drunken top, but the pursuing vessels, unable to predict his erratic course, collided with each other in a cascade of explosions. When the debris settled, they were alive. Barely. Sharavi stared at him, silver eyes wide. Then she started laughing, a sound like bells in a cathedral. They said humans were insane. I should have believed them. Marcus grinned, adrenaline still flooding his system. "You're welcome, wife." Over the following weeks, Marcus learned that being married to an alien princess involved more than just piloting. Sharavi taught him Zytherian politics, history, and the complex web of alliances that held the Galactic Council together. In return, he taught her about Earth, about music and coffee and the concept of sarcasm. They survived 2 more assassination attempts, a diplomatic dinner where the food was technically sentient, and a narrow escape from a collapsing wormhole. Through it all, Marcus found himself actually enjoying her company. She was brilliant, brave, and possessed a dry wit that matched his own. On the night before they reached the peace conference, they sat in the observation deck, watching stars stream past at faster-than-light velocities. "When this is over," Sharavi said quietly, "the marriage can be annulled. It's in the contract." Marcus was surprised by the disappointment that flickered through him. "Yeah, I saw that. Unless..." She turned to face him, her glow brightening slightly. "Unless both parties wish to make it permanent." He met her silver eyes, saw his own reflection in them, and realized that somewhere between the ambushes and the diplomatic disasters, between teaching her about Earth movies and learning about Zytherian philosophy, he'd stopped thinking of this as just a job. "I signed up to be your pilot," Marcus said. "Didn't realize it came with a wedding ring. But you know what? I think I'm okay with that." She smiled, radiant and warm, and leaned against his shoulder, a gesture she'd learned from him. "Good. Because I need you, Marcus Chen, not just as a pilot. Humans have something we Zytherians don't understand. You call it hope. You do impossible things because you believe you can. Is that why you chose a human?" "I chose you," she corrected. "Because when I read your file, I saw someone who'd spent his life looking for something worth fighting for. I'm offering you that chance." Marcus wrapped an arm around her shoulders, feeling the warmth of her alien skin, the gentle pulse of her dual hearts. Outside, the stars wheeled in their ancient dance, and ahead lay danger, diplomacy, and a future he couldn't predict. But then again, he'd never been good at playing it safe. "Well then, wife," he said, "let's go save the galaxy." And together they flew into the unknown.